Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. The only source of knowledge is experience. You never fail until you stop trying. The difference between stupidity and genius is that genius has its limits. Whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted with important matters. The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge but imagination. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. Pure mathematics is, in its way, the poetry of logical ideas. The value of a man should be seen in what he gives, and not in what he is able to receive. Everyone should be respected as an individual, but no one idolized. Only two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the former. Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. The only reason for time is so that everything doesn't happen at once. If we knew what it was we were doing, it would not be called research, would it? Nationalism is an infantile disease. It is the measles of mankind. It is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge. There are two ways to live. You can live as if nothing is a miracle. You can live as if everything is a miracle. Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. The gift of fantasy has meant more to me than my talent for absorbing positive knowledge. If you are out to describe the truth, leave elegance to the tailor. Technological progress is like an axe in the hands of a pathological criminal. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. It's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer. Common sense is the collection of prejudices acquired by age 18. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. I live in that solitude which is painful in youth, but delicious in the years of maturity. Intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. If I were not a physicist, I would probably be a musician. I often think in music. I live my daydreams in music. I see my life in terms of music. Love is a better teacher than duty. The monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind. The hardest thing to understand in the world is the income tax. He who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe is as good as dead, his eyes are closed. Weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. Logic will get you from A to B, imagination will take you everywhere. The world is a dangerous place to live, not because of the people who are evil, but because of the people who don't do anything about it. Peace cannot be kept by force, it can only be achieved by understanding. Once we accept our limits, we go beyond them. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. Everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. No amount of experimentation can ever prove me right, a single experiment can prove me wrong. Before God we are all equally wise and equally foolish. Intellectuals solve problems, geniuses prevent them. A table, a chair, a bowl of fruit and a violin, what else does a man need to be happy? Any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking. Never do anything against conscience even if the state demands it. It is strange to be known so universally and yet to be so lonely. I want to go when I want. It is tasteless to prolong life artificially. I have done my share, it is time to go. I will do it elegantly. It is a miracle that curiosity survives formal education. I believe that a simple and unassuming manner of life is best for everyone, best both for the body and the mind. I am not only a pacifist but a militant pacifist. I am willing to fight for peace. Nothing will end war unless the people themselves refuse to go to war. A man should look for what is, and not for what he thinks should be. The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science. Few are those who see with their own eyes and feel with their own hearts. Most people say that it is the intellect which makes a great scientist. They are wrong, it is character. Memory is deceptive because it is colored by today's events. Force always attracts men of low morality. The pursuit of truth and beauty is a sphere of activity in which we are permitted to remain children all our lives. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Only one who devotes himself to a cause with his whole strength and soul can be a true master. For this reason, mastery demands all of a person. He who joyfully marches to music in rank and file has already earned my contempt. He has been given a large brain by mistake, since for him the spinal cord would suffice. True religion is real living, living with all one's soul, with all one's goodness and righteousness. Gravitation is not responsible for people falling in love. An empty stomach is not a good political advisor. The only real valuable thing is intuition. The only thing that interferes with my learning is my education. Joy in looking and comprehending is nature's most beautiful gift. When you are courting a nice girl, an hour seems like a second. When you sit on a red-hot cinder, a second seems like an hour. That's relativity. Information is not knowledge. The whole of science is nothing more than a refinement of everyday thinking. Science without religion is lame, religion without science is blind. Anger dwells only in the bosom of fools. The fear of death is the most unjustified of all fears, for there's no risk of accident for someone who's dead. I am a deeply religious non-believer. This is a somewhat new kind of religion. Small is the number of people who see with their eyes and think with their minds. It is only to the individual that a soul is given. The grand aim of all science is to cover the greatest number of empirical facts by logical deduction from the smallest number of hypotheses or axioms. One strength of the communist system of the East is that it has some of the character of a religion and inspires the emotions of a religion. Sometimes one pays most for the things one gets for nothing. Too many of us look upon Americans as dollar chasers. This is a cruel libel, even if it is reiterated thoughtlessly by the Americans themselves. It is my conviction that killing under the cloak of war is nothing but an act of murder. You ask me if I keep a notebook to record my great ideas. I've only ever had one. The most incomprehensible thing about the world is that it is comprehensible. Check out this video about most commonly used Japanese proverbs by the Japanese. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.